There's only one suburb in the entire Minneapolis metro selling wealthy homes above asking price, and it's not on Lake Minnetonka. Meanwhile, the most iconic lakefront market in the upper Midwest is watching sellers cut $300,000 off $4 million list prices just to close deals. Today, I'm showing you where the wealthy are buying, where they're walking away from, and why the lakefront premium that held for 20 years is finally starting to crack. Let's start off with the entry luxury tier on that $1 million to $2 million range. Picture listing a home on a Thursday, getting multiple offers by Sunday and closing for more than asking price within 2 weeks. That's normal at this level in one specific Minneapolis market, and it's not happening anywhere else in the metro. Edina is the undisputed champion at this tier, and it's not even close. We're talking around 173 sales in the last 12 months, nearly double the next biggest market of Minnetonka, Plymouth, and Eden Prairie, with homes moving in roughly 15 days at about 102% of list price. And Edina is the only market in the entire metro selling wealthy homes above list at this tier. So buyers are showing up ready to compete, sometimes with cash on hand. Of course, this isn't random, and it tells you a lot about how wealthy buyers are thinking these days. They want functional, everyday living over vacation-style properties, and Edina checks every one of those boxes. You've got the walkability, the 50th in France shopping district, where you can walk from morning coffee to dinner to a movie without ever moving your car. And you've got the Edina Public School District, ranked the number 3 school district in Minnesota according to niche.com. Also, Edina Senior High lands around the top 235 nationally. In Edina, you're getting top-tier schools, urban-style convenience, and quick access to both downtowns and the airport all in one address, which is hard to find anywhere else really in the metro, even at this 7-figure price point. But as wonderful as Edina is, it just isn't the only strong performer at this tier. A few others are worth knowing about. Minnetrista has larger lots, equestrian-style properties, and that more private feel on the western side of Lake Minnetonka. Although the entry luxury market there has softened, with sales down around 22% year over year. Plymouth is another strong performer, and we're going to come back to Plymouth in a big way later. You have to see what's happening at the ultra luxury level there. But that's coming up. Back to the first tier for now. Another one is Chanhassen, which is heating up. Sales are up around 31% year over year in this tier, selling at about 98% of list. So that's solidly in seller territory. On the other side, Medina is seeing the most price cuts at the entry luxury level. It's more known for its large lot estates and equestrian properties, which we'll get into later. But at that $1 million to $2 million range, there's more inventory than buyers, and that's creating real negotiating room. So if you've been looking at Medina at this price point, right now you've got some leverage. One more thing worth knowing, the Twin Cities ranks number 3 in the country for square footage per dollar in the $1 million to $2 million tier, behind only Atlanta and Denver. So wealth here buys you more home than it does in most comparable cities. Okay, that sets the foundation for entry luxury, but the moment you move up a tier, the legacy lakefront names start coming into play and the dynamics change a lot. Moving on, we got the mid luxury tier. That's from $2 million to $3 million. There's a market on Lake Minnetonka where the most expensive homes have been moving slower for over 2 years now, and most buyers walking into this tier still have no idea. So let's talk about it. That market is Orono, which sits on the north shore of Lake Minnetonka with more than 40 miles of lake shore, and for decades it's been one of the most iconic luxury addresses in the metro. But the data here is super clear. Orono has been a soft buyer's market for a long stretch now. Homes are taking 53 plus days to sell, list to sale ratios sitting in the mid 90s across every tier, and the lakefront premium that used to be automatic just isn't moving homes the way it once did. And look, I want to be honest about this. It's not that people are walking away from Orono. The lake is still beautiful, the homes are still incredible, but the leverage has flipped. Buyers now have real negotiating power here, here, and that creates a rare window of opportunity. So if you've always wanted to be close to Lake Minnetonka but felt priced out of the negotiation, the mid-luxury tier in Orono is the most forgiving window we've seen in years. All right, let's talk about who's winning and who's losing at this tier. The difference is pretty clear. The top performers in mid-luxury are Edina, Plymouth, and Medina. Edina is again dominating, with sales up around 29% year over year and homes moving in about 34 days, down from 75 the year before. Plymouth is selling at 100% of list at this tier. So that's a really hot market that nobody's calling a luxury destination yet. And Medina at this tier is performing really well too, sitting at around 98% of list, mainly because those large lot estate properties are still in high demand. On the lower performing side, you've got Wayzata and Eden Prairie, which at this tier has more inventory than buyers, so it's softer. The ultra luxury cooling in Wayzata is the most dramatic change in this entire data set that we looked at, and we're about to get into it. So Orono right now though isn't a market to write off. It's a market to negotiate in, and that's a really different mindset that the one most buyers have walked in with for the last 20 years. All right, now buckle in, because the next tier is where the entire luxury landscape in Minneapolis flips on its head. Before we continue though, if you're watching this and starting to map out a property search at this level, that's what my team and I do every day, helping buyers in the Twin Cities metro find their match. So reach out. All of my contact information is in the description below. All right, let's get back to it. Here's our last tier, from 3 million and up. This is what I call the ultra luxury buyer. The only way to describe what's happening at this level in the Minneapolis metro is comparing it to two different worlds. You'll see what I mean right away. The sleeper ultra luxury market in Minneapolis is Plymouth, and I don't think most channels are even calling Plymouth a luxury destination yet, but the data is showing something really different. Plymouth is moving 3 million plus homes in around 33 days at about 99% of list price, which is a hotter ultra luxury market than Wayzata or Orono. This is happening for two main reasons. First, Plymouth is served by the Wayzata Public School District, ranked the #1 school district in all of Minnesota according to niche.com. It's also the #1 school district for athletes. And Wayzata High School in Plymouth is the largest high school in the state by enrollment. So for a $3 million plus buyer with kids, that school district is often the deciding factor. And second, Plymouth has the most active new construction pipeline in the Wayzata School District area. So you're getting modern homes without paying the Wayzata waterfront premium. Now let's jump over to Wayzata in the $3 million plus market, because this is where the most dramatic change in the data set I mentioned earlier starts to show up. And I want to be careful with how I frame this. Wayzata is still beautiful. The downtown is still walkable. The Panaway Lake Walk is incredible, and the lake is still a huge selling point. None of that has changed. I'm not trying to make this area look bad, but the market at the 3 million plus level has changed. A year ago, ultra luxury homes in Wayzata were moving in about 13 days at around 102% of list. So it was the hottest ultra luxury market in the metro. Today, those same homes are sitting for roughly 185 days and selling at about 92% of list. In dollar terms, sellers in Wayzata at $3 million plus are now making price cuts, often around $300 or more off a $4 million list price to get the deal done. So if you've wanted Lake Minnetonka and you've got the budget for it, this is a rare opportunity to get a deal on the most iconic lakefront in the upper Midwest. Like I said, Wayzata is still amazing. But act fast though. The lakefront premium isn't gone forever. It's just temporarily cracked, and buyers are paying attention to that window right now. Minnetonka and Orono are also underperforming in this $3 million plus range, with list to sale ratios sitting in the low to mid 90s. So the same pattern of buyer leverage is showing up across the Lake Minnetonka legacy markets. Now, let's talk about the niche pockets, because there are still in high demand for very specific ultra luxury buyers, and there's no real softening here. Medina is the premier large lot estate market in Hennepin County. You're talking properties on 5 to 40 plus acre parcels with equestrian setups in neighborhoods like the Enclave, Deer Hill Preserve, and Wild Meadows. That combination of privacy and Wayzata school access makes Medina super unique in the ultra luxury space. So demand for true acreage estates there is still really strong. Excelsior is on the south side of Lake Minnetonka, and it has a different feel than Orono or Minnetonka Beach. It's got that historic walkable village character right down the water, and there are some incredible 5 million plus estates trading there. There was a recent listing at 230 Birch Bluff Road priced at $5.4 million originally. And guess what? This one has had a $300,000 price cut and now for sale right now at 5.1. Lastly, Deep Haven is the niche pocket, a small community of around 3,600 residents on the northern shore of the lake with wooded lakefront, almost no new supply, and that exclusive feel ultra luxury buyers really love. And there we have it. Those are the areas the ultra wealthy are looking for. The wealthy in Minneapolis aren't chasing address anymore. They're chasing fit. And the buyers who recognize that early are the ones who get ahead of this market. Everyone else is going to spend the next year reacting to what these patterns are already telling us. If you're sitting on a $1 to $5 million plus search and want curated access to what's moving in Edina, Plymouth, and the Lake Minnetonka legacy markets before the spring and summer rush really heats up, email me today. My team and I also know of pre-market and off-market opportunities, which in these price ranges are really hard to come by. And for buyers wondering how Wayzata can be cooling at the top while still being one of the most desirable suburbs in Minneapolis, the video I've linked here breaks down why Wayzata's downtown is still pulling in premium buyers. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.